Welcome to the fabulous Asian carp exhibit here at the Toronto Zoo. The Invasive Species Centre is very passionate about contributing to the success of aquatic invasive species management in the Great Lakes. Our mission is to connect stakeholders, knowledge, and technology to prevent and reduce the spread of invasive species that harm the environment, economy, and society. And clearly we can see that that goal is being achieved today. The Invasive Species Centre has partnered with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada, the Toronto Zoo, and the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry to open an Asian carp exhibit. We have live Asian carp here. The purpose of this exhibit is to highlight the threat of Asian carp to the Great Lakes. What it does is bring attention to this really important issue, not only of Asian carp, but invasive species as a whole. It basically educates the public about what these fish look like, what the risks are if they were ever to establish themselves in the Great Lakes, how to identify them, and resources that they can go to learn more.
We know that invasive species have the potential to do lasting damage to both our economy and also our environmental system. We want to protect our ecosystems in Ontario, and we need to protect them against invasive species. Particularly, I think the Asian carp has the potential of impacting our recreational fishing industry, which accounts for about $2.2 billion in Ontario. Well, it's wonderful to see this partnership with the Toronto Zoo to really raise awareness about invasive species, and that's very important for Ontarians. We all should know about the damage that Asian carp can do to our environment, to our lakes, and I think this exhibit really brings it home. You know, not only do you see the species, but also you are invited to do interactive elements to really learn more about them. So this exhibit, they don't know it, but you know, they are the faces of the 16 least wanted species in Ontario.
At Fisheries and Oceans Canada, we are so focused on working with partnership with other agencies to prevent the establishment of Asian carp. And we do this through intensive surveillance of high-risk areas in the Canadian waters of the Great Lakes, where our field crews are the eyes on the water from April to October. Through our outreach and education efforts with the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters and the Invasive Species Centre, we are engaging Ontarians to assist us by learning all they can about Asian carp. And this amazing exhibit will help do that, and it allows the visitors to get a first-hand look at these species, to learn how to identify them and report them if spotted.
It really is serious. Asian carp threaten the ecosystem, the habitat, the livelihood, and species within the Great Lakes system. We're hoping that this exhibit brings attention to the Canadian public, to the Ontario people, the threat Asian carp pose to the Great Lakes, how to identify them, and how to report them.
They outcompete our native fishes for habitat, for food, for spawning grounds, and they have the ability to completely take over an ecosystem and destroy our wetlands area. So it's extremely important that we keep them out of our area.
The Toronto Zoo is so proud and excited to be making history alongside our valued partners, the Invasive Species Centre, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, and of course the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry. The Toronto Zoo's mission is to be a living centre for education and science, committed to providing compelling guest experiences and inspiring passion to protect wildlife and habitats. The opening of the first Asian carp exhibit in Canada achieves just that. Humans rely on the lakes as a clean source of clean drinkable water and as a recreational destination. The threats to the Great Lakes are causing immediate problems, and should they continue, this valuable resource may be lost. In addition to raising awareness through this exhibit, the Toronto Zoo has a Great Lakes Outreach Program, which is a free curriculum-based education program that encourages students, educators, and families to keep our Great Lakes great. And maybe carp are the new pandas. I invite everybody to see them here this weekend.